Alright, so starting off with clean brows, the first thing that I do is I take my little Anastasia Beverly Hills little double-sided brush here, and I just start to brush out my eyebrows, and I also brush them in the direction of the hair growth. I don't know what happened to this one over here. I think I trimmed it too short because now I got a little gap. Now this is what the Anastasia Beverly Hills little dip brow jar looks like, just like this, and I use the color chocolate, which is actually a little bit too light for me now just because I did dye my hair darker recently, and this one's more of a warm brown, so I didn't want to waste it, so I'm just still using it. I just add a little bit more product, but this is what the dip brow looks like inside. It's like a, I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like a gel eyeliner, but it's not so creamy. But what I do when using the dip brow is I barely tap my brush into it. So I just go like this. And I'll show you on the back of my hand. You get a very nice light line. Whereas if you were to really like dip it in there, you would get a really heavy line. So when you're using the dip brow, you really just want to tap it inside of the dip brow, because that way you won't get too harsh of a line, because it's hard to take away the eyebrow product rather than to add more. So just dip the brush, tap it actually, and then it will give you a really light line, and you can just work with it. And it works so much better than adding so much product compared to right here, because that's the problem that people have, is they feel like the dip brow looks almost painted on. Oops, that one has a lot of product on it. It looks almost painted on, so if by just tapping the brush inside of the dip brow, it'll make it so that it's not so harsh on your eyebrows. I'm going to go ahead and wipe off my brush now, just because I do have a lot of product on it now. So again, just tapping my brush in the dip brow right now. I'm going to start on this eyebrow. Oh, I got a little scab. And I always start underneath, a little bit away from my eyebrow, and I just start going in small little strokes, very lightly. So as you can see, it's very light on my eyebrow. It's not too harsh or anything like that. It almost looks like eyeshadow, but it stays and it lasts so much longer all day long. I don't have to touch up my eyebrows at all with this. So you can see how light that is. It's not too harsh. It almost looks like an eyeshadow, just like I said. And again, this color is a little bit too light for me, but I don't want to waste it because these things are like almost 20 bucks, so I'm working with it. So I went ahead and I dipped my brush a little tiny bit. I tapped it in the dip brow again, and I'm gonna keep going. And when you get to the tail is when you can get a little bit more heavy with it. For me, I like to do that, but if you want to keep it as natural as possible, you don't have to. It's completely optional right here. I just dipped the brush in the dip brow again. And now I'm going to start feathering the product up in my eyebrows. Then I brush it out using the other side of the brush. This will eliminate any harshness as well. So you can still see my hair, which is really nice with the dip brow. If you're doing it right, it will look as natural as possible. So little by little, I'm just taking my brush and tapping it in the dip brow. Alright, so I just tapped the brush in the dip brow again, and now I'm just going to fill in any little gaps that I see needs a little bit more product, like right in here. I need a little bit more product because for some reason I accidentally trimmed my eyebrows too short right there, and now I have a little gap, so gotta fill that in because it looks weird. Alright, so that one's done. I'm going to go ahead and move on to this one now. Now I'm going to clean up my eyebrows to give it a sharper look with my MAC Studio Finish Concealer. And mine I've had for such a long time. I think like a year I've had it, and I still have some left. The brush that I use is actually, oh, dirty hand, I want to show you on that side. It is the brush that comes with the L'Oreal Infallible Gel Lacquer Liner, and I really love it because look how skinny and small it is. It's a little tiny, tiny, tiny brush, and I get a lot of control with this brush when I'm cleaning up my eyebrows with it, so I really like it. So with this, again, I'm just taking it in my concealer, and I coat both the front and the back of it to make sure that it's very flat. I'll show you on this hand. Both the front and the back. As you can see, it's very skinny, like you can hardly see it on my hand right now. And I just start to clean up my eyebrows with that. Alright, once I've got all the concealer on there, I'm just going to start to bring my brush and start swooping it down. And that's going to blend out all of the concealer. I always use my finger near the end of it. Alright, now just taking a little tiny bit, like a little tiny bit of concealer on the brush. I'm just going to clean up the tail just because it's kind of fat and chunky right there, and I want it to be a little bit thinner, so. Alright, so here's my eyebrow on this side. Eyebrow on this side. As you can see, you can still see the hair. And the last step that I do is I do set my eyebrows with an eyebrow gel. The one that I've been using lately is this little Mary Kay one. It's a little baby one. I don't know. I use whatever I use. And then, like I said, this is the last step. I just brush my eyebrow hair with the eyebrow gel, and it really defines the hair. And then it also keeps your hairs in place all day long. Alright, that's it guys. I hope you learned a little bit from this video and are not afraid to use the dip brow because it is truly amazing. You really can do anything with it. You can go very dramatic, really dark, or you can go extremely natural. Again, it really depends on your eyebrows, and it really depends on the pressure that you apply to the brush when you're putting it in the dip brow. So again, I hope that helps, and until next time, bye you guys.